I will be sad to see the talking chests go. I don't want to use your CP. Dang it. You're gonna go out and test this theory. Frey said I could love you if I punch you. Please present your face. No, but you have to be talented enough to heal the person you're punching with your punch. Are you at that level yet? If no, can't do it. Also, that's definitely what you should say to the officer that comes to arrest you. Frey said I could. Nice punch guy. You can heal them if you punch them with band-aids, maybe. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Oh, did I do this puzzle wrong? Oh, crap. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay. Everything is fine. I thought it was about to tell me that I needed to have left the middle platform undone. And I was going to be mildly annoyed. But no, it's fine. It ropes back. I was going to leave you alive because you have not aggroed onto me. But I've killed everything else in this dungeon. And I would feel unfulfilled if I left you alive. What are you weak to again? Have a tower. It's a very beautiful tower, I promise. Alright, goodbye, sir. This maze was a lot more straightforward than the other ones. It looks like it would be really confusing, but it was pretty much just like you can only go in this one direction. You don't have options. Also, not looking forward to fighting Arios. Heal me. Give Tio a few CP back. I mean EP. You knew what I meant. Let's save. Just in case this all falls apart and I need to go back and actually buy new armor. You're here. I am, in fact, here. Thank you for noticing.
Arios.
You put your old jacket back on. Arios. What? Not gonna wear those snazzy new threads of yours, Mr. Secretary? If you don't want them, can I have them? I really liked that jacket. I only wore that uniform at President Crois's behest. Frankly, I was never comfortable in it. After the declaration of invalidity, I haven't felt as though I have the right to wear it. I stand before you not as a bracer, nor as the Secretary of Defense, but as a tainted swordsman, wielding a tarnished blade, nothing more, nothing less. McLean, how did it come to this? He is self-disciplined to a fault. I don't know what to say. I have so many questions I want to ask you that it's hard to sort them out in my head. But I guess the first one should be, are you willing to answer them? Of course. That was my intention. Ask away. I will answer any question you have, save for one. Alright. The illusion of choice? Why even let me have an option here? The accident 5 years ago. Why make that a selection? I'm sorry for bringing up painful memories. But could you tell us about the accident that happened 5 years ago? Yes. There's no need to hide it any longer. That accident was caused by a truck exploding on a street in the middle of the city. It was, as I'm sure you've all realized, a product of an information war between Erebonia and Calvard. Just as we thought. Don't pretend that everyone in the First Division doesn't already know the truth. Of course, the top brass made the call to keep the entire thing under wraps to avoid angering the Imperial and Republican factions. But though I was devastated at the time, I don't hold any resentment. There's still no excuse for it. Then your wife and Shizuku. You're gonna sit there and say you don't hold any resentment when you've went and joined Croix and done all of this other nonsense? Sir, I hate to tell you this, but you hold a bit of resentment. You just might not want to admit it. Yes, there was much that my family lost that day. Saya, her life, and Shizuku, her sight. In the 5 years since, both countries' intelligence agencies have developed, and incidents of sabotage have ceased. Though the truth remains that their feud in the shadows has resulted in decades worth of victims like Saya. That would include your parents, Lloyd, as well as the family of Mr. Grimwood. Grimwood definitely holds a lot of resentment. The heck? Didn't Lloyd's parents... Did we not already come to the realization that Lloyd's parents' accident wasn't an accident? I don't remember when we had that conversation. It was either at Guy's grave, or it could have been with the journalist dude. But we've already discussed this. This is not news. Yes, they passed away 15 years ago in an airship crash. Might have been when we were talking to Noelle. I don't really remember. Right. Just like I mentioned back at the cemetery. Was the cemetery. I was so little at the time that I can barely even remember it. You don't mean to say that accident also claimed Mr. Grimwood's family, do you? But I do. His wife and children were aboard that airship as well. Okay, that is news. I just thought they both died in 2 different, air quotes, accidents that were obviously caused by either the Empire or the Republic. I was lucky to still have Shizuku. I can't imagine the agony that comes with losing everything you hold dear. After the incident, Mr. Grimwood and Guy came to know one another, sharing in their mourning for the family they had lost. Even the First Division was unaware their connection ran so deep. After that incident 5 years ago, I turned in my police badge and went knocking on the Bracer Guild's door. I had my reasons for resigning. The cost of Shizuku's hospital bills, my dissatisfaction with the department. But above all, I was running away from the pain of losing Saya. With the bracer's workload, I was never short on distractions. I could strip myself of any moments of grief. The families of Yin's targets must go through this very same thing. We could listen to the same thing we just talked about, or ask a new question. Gee, I wonder which one we'll pick. What is your relationship with Ian Grimwood? There's been something I haven't been able to shake from my mind all this time. It's how you ever became involved with this scheme in the first place. I don't think this is a direct translation. Lloyd's voice actor said Dieter. He said Dieter Croiss's name, but Dieter is not in this sentence in English. That's weird. Uncle Dieter and Belle are well versed in banking and economics, and their lineage links them to the cult. But that doesn't fill every gap. Like how you knew about the information war between the Empire and Republic, for one. I don't buy that either of those two has the contacts to know about that sort of thing. Nor do you have any prior connection to their family. And yet, once Mr. Croix took office as president, he immediately appointed you as Secretary of Defense. Which can only mean one thing. Mr. Grimwood is the intermediary between you and the Croix family. Exactly. Do you dispute that? No. You assume correctly. Just like the SSS, Guy and I have often relied on Mr. Grimwood and his information network. He was pivotal in a fair number of our cases. He was so well informed that he was even called upon as a civil advisor during the operation to purge the cult's lodges. After I became a bracer, I continued to exchange information with him on a regular basis. As for the Croix family, Mr. Grimwood was already acquainted with them due to the IBC's legal affairs. The nature of his position allowed him to amass all the information and resources he required into one place. Every step Croix took toward gaining our independence, as well as the power of the Septarian, was by Mr. Grimwood's design. All the while, both his daughter and his legal counsel were working toward their master plan behind his back. So it turns out Dieter is an idiot. Their master plan. The Azure Zero Project. Precisely. It didn't take long for Mr. Grimwood to realize the truth about the incident Sai and Shizuku suffered. He informed me of it shortly after. That was what led me to cooperate with him. There is your answer. Yeah, see? That you chose to side with Grimwood after that shows you have resentment. So everything has gone according to Mr. Grimwood and Maria Bell's plan. That's one heck of a story. Kia and the auction. I thought we also already knew that he put Kia at the auction. While we're asking questions here, there's something I've been wondering about. You were the one who moved Kia from the bottom of the Sun Fort, weren't you? Then you swapped her with the Rosenberg doll that was meant to be sold off at the Schwartz auction. I think it was Meister Jorg who told us this. Now that you mention it. We never did manage to solve that particular side of the mystery. I swear Meister Jorg or someone told us this, or at least hinted at it. It's just as you say. Could have actually been when we were talking to Michelle and we were first piecing together the timelines in which Arios was missing. Or that he'd lied about his whereabouts. But the idea itself was actually Mariabelle's, not Mr. Grimwood's. Having foreseen Joaquin's actions to their finest points, she knew exactly how to exploit them. She was easily able to teleport us to the fort's lowest stratum, whereupon we freed the girl from the cradle atop the altar. I then switched her with the Rosenberg doll that was brought from Remiferia. Mariabelle was also the one who arranged for the doll to be put up for auction, with her Vache none the wiser. To think she was so involved. I still don't understand, though. What would Mariabelle gain by doing that in the first place? If she needed Kia for the project, why not just take her into custody until the time was right? First, she wanted to involve Heiyu to further jeopardize her Vache's position and begin the chain that would lead to their downfall. Her plan was for the child to awaken during the auction, allowing Mariabelle to publicly spring it to action. With Marconi and his bewildered guests as an audience, she would volunteer to take custody of the girl on behalf of the IBC. Were Heiyu to take action at that point, things would have likely gone awry. Thus, as a precaution, I remained undercover in the manor to observe. I went in every room in that manor. Where the heck were you, sir? Were you hiding under a bed just like Lecter? It sounds accurate. We had a contingency plan for every possible outcome that could have occurred. You two are crazy with a capital C, I swear. Until now, I wasn't aware it was possible to be too prepared. I did suspect there was someone else lurking in the shadows that night. As for her second motive, Mariabelle wished to gauge the potential of the Septarian by having it awaken under extraordinary circumstances. Gauge her potential? What does that mean? Those were Mariabelle's words, so I couldn't tell you precisely. It may have been one of the conditions necessary to rouse the child from her long slumber. But whether by coincidence or the hands of Arios, she finally awoke when you were in her presence. I doubt even Mariabelle could have anticipated that. But she didn't seem to mind, nor did she object to all of you taking the child in under your wing. Well, I'm stumped. Heck if I can get into her headspace. I don't think you want to get into Mariabelle's headspace. You're better not there. Belle, what in the world were you planning? Okay. How did my brother die? We need to not lose to Arios so that we don't have to sit through this again. There's just one more thing. I want you to tell me what really happened on the day my brother died. Can you do that? Very well. It was 2 years after I resigned from the police following Saya's passing. I had been cooperating with Mr. Grimwood and the others as they laid the groundwork for their plan. None of it was legal. They had already woven quite a conspiracy at that point. However, no one, not even the guild, had an inkling of what was taking shape beneath Crossbell's surface. Save for one exception, my former partner, Guy Bannings. Guy was tenacious and had a keen eye for finding the truth. At the time, he was closing in on a number of hidden plots. From the information war between Ereboni and Calvard, to Speaker Hartman's connections with Hervace and the remnants of the D Therefore G cults. After digging deeper, he even came upon the Croix family's plans buried behind it all. And then, one rainy day, Guy asked me to meet with him at the newly established construction site for Orcus Tower. Suffice it to say, he hadn't uncovered all of the project's details. But Guy's suspicions were shockingly accurate, right down to the scope of the plan itself. He predicted that Croix would utilize the cult and mafia to eventually ascend to the top of the political world. He predicted that a foreign power would be framed for an attack on Crossbell City, fueling the bid for state independence. He even predicted that the Croix family aimed to create something that could intimidate and seize control of the entire continent. Our brother was a super genius. To my surprise, he had gotten to the very heart of the conspiracy. After that, Guy refused to back down. It was clear this wasn't something we could resolve with words. And so we began our fight to the death as the rain poured down upon us. Between the two of us, I was always the better fighter. But Guy's strength came from his unbreakable will. Why does this remind me so much of Naruto versus Sasuke? Our duel raged on as we traded blow after blow, exhausting each other's stamina as the rain continued to fall. Until finally... Guy lost his life. I was the one who took his tonfa from the scene of the crime. I did it to hide the evidence, the scars that my Tachi left on them. So that was why. There you have it. The truth of what transpired on that rainy day. Yes, but who pulled the trigger? The mafioso wandering off with Guy's badge was an unforeseen twist. But with that, I believe I've answered every question you could have. There should be no more room for doubt. No. You know as well as I do that my brother died from a bullet to the back. Why leave out the cause of death in your account of that day? I was a member of the police force. It only follows that I can wield a gun. His persistence left me no choice. It was my last resort to settle our fight. You're lying, McLean. You would have never had the opportunity to draw a second weapon while fighting for your life. And you sure as heck wouldn't have been able to shoot him in the back. About time you fessed up, pal. Indeed. Who really shot Guy? Tell us. You can frame it however you'd like, but the fact remains that my actions were what led to Guy's death. And even still, I chose to continue working on the project that had taken my former partner's life. Even now, I'm desecrating the life of an innocent girl to complete that very same project. Every sin I've committed has been for the sake of avenging Saya, as well as securing Shizuku's future. Oh, are you finally admitting that you hold some freaking resentment?
Arios.
Do you still believe Shizuku is happy about what you're doing? I'm perfectly aware that she isn't. But Crossbell's ill-starred fate stole her mother from the world, and the light from her eyes. So long as the state retains its status as a geostrategic position, it will have no hope of salvation. That is... I'm losing my voice. This has been going on for so long. Such a long cutscene. That is, unless we experience a miracle that transcends the laws of the human world. Oh, we're fighting now? 3 years ago, Guy lost his life in a mortal combat against me, and yet he didn't even curse my name. And now, Kia, holding the power of a septarian, has healed Shizuku's eyes. I have no intention of undoing what has been done, my self-serving transgressions included. If you cannot accept that, then you're welcome to convince me with force. Take up the tonfa your brother left you. I'm sorry, I replaced the tonfa my brother left me with Mjolnir. Turns out Thor's hammer is a little bit stronger than my brother's tonfa. Sentimentality excluded. And show me that you're willing to avenge him. Open the path before you and take back what you cherish most. Fine. But let's get one thing straight. This isn't about taking revenge for my brother. Our division was established for a more modest reason. To honor Guy Mannings and his will. Right now, the Special Support Section is carrying the hopes and wishes of so many people, including Shizuku. So if you plan to stand as a barrier against us, then we're going to surmount it, take Kia back, and solve this case once and for all. You tell him, leader. Shizuku is waiting for us over at Orcus Tower. And we will not be going back without you in tow. You four never change. This ends now. Very good. You stand before Arios McLean, master of the second form of the 8 Leaves One Blade School. I've made my choice. I shall forgo your justice to make my desires a reality. Come, Special Support Section. Right.